we're just going to get into the honorable mentions quick, kind of just go through it seamlessly. Kyle, you want to go first?
Sure. I'm going to start with the Green Bay Packers continuing their hot streak. And the reason why I'm mentioning the Packers here is because at the beginning of the season, Kevin, we both know that they took that 35-point ass whooping to the Saints, and everybody was basically saying it's doom and gloom for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's on his way out. He doesn't care. The team is suffering because of it. And basically, they were dead in the water after 1 week, meaning the first week of the season. And yet they have gone 5 straight weeks winning all of their games. And in this game, this wasn't necessarily their best performance, but I think it was a performance that was gritty against one of their division rivals in the Chicago Bears. And I do think that it's a win that can keep propelling them to keep this win streak alive. Aaron Rodgers didn't light it up today. He didn't throw for 400 yards, throw for 5 touchdowns, and complete like 85% of his passes. But this was a game where they had to play methodical and limit the amount of turnovers that they had. And that's exactly what they did today. Davante Adams didn't torch the secondary for 10 catches and 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He only had 4 catches for 90 yards, which is still a pretty solid day. But the fact of the matter is that the Packers are one of the best teams in the NFL. They just find ways to win games. And no matter if it's coming from Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Jones or Davante Adams on the offense, these guys just make the plays that need to be made, and they are doing it on a consistent basis. We mentioned in some of our earlier segments that they are one of the best teams alongside the Buccaneers, the Rams, the Cardinals. There's a boatload of teams in the NFC that are at the top of their game, and the Packers are definitely one of them. And getting this win on the road against Chicago, and Chicago's kind of an up and down team, but still a very crucial win for them in their division in the NFC North. And I do have to mention that the fan that was chirping at Aaron Rodgers after he scampered into the end zone to put them up by, I believe, 2 possessions at the end of the game with a touchdown. Some fan was chirping at Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers chirped right back at him saying, like, I essentially own you. And he has. The Packers have dominated the Chicago Bears for over a decade at this point. The Chicago Bears have barely been relevant, so to speak, since their double doink, where they went like 12-4 and they lost to the wild card round in the Eagles maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. Outside of that, they've been irrelevant since Rex Grossman and maybe Jay Cutler. So I don't think I had an issue whatsoever with what Aaron Rodgers had to say in mention about them owning the Chicago Bears. They have, and they will continue to do so as long as number 12 is playing for the Green Bay Packers. So great win for the Green Bay Packers. And Kevin, I'll kick it to you for your honorable mention.
Hey man, shout out to Aaron Rodgers because that animation. I know that I want to get into mine too, but I got to give that boy a shout out. He came in there, he did the championship belt, and then I think a fan was giving him the double bird, like he was flipping him off. And when he said that, that sparked, and that gave me goosebumps, bro. He just went out there. He wanted all the smoke. He's like, I
Yes,
own you.
sir.
I fucking own you. And that shit was lit. Like
He's
you don't
he's
hear
not
you don't hear quarterbacks talking like that, bro.
he's not lying, bro. He's not
He's
lying.
not. No, not even close. My honorable mention is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. They are now 3-3. They have found a way to claw back from their 0-3 start and are now at 500. And the funny part is, the Carolina Panthers were 3-0 on the opposite side, and now they have collapsed to 3-3. Christian McCaffrey, unfortunately, now will be sitting on the IR for that much longer. I believe another 3 or 4 additional games. I don't know if there was a setback in rehab or it was worse than they originally anticipated. So it's looking like they're going to have to be shouldered by Sam Darnold, who pretty much had a lackluster performance today. But Kirk Cousins, once again, I'm just putting it out there. The man is absolutely carving the league up. I mean, he was 373 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Absolutely a great game. Dalvin Cook's first game back in a couple of weeks. He goes for $140 on the ground by himself. As a team, the Minnesota Vikings were 2 yards away from 200 total yards on the ground. So I'm just going to go out there and say it. The Minnesota Vikings are doing what they need to do, and they are a force to be dealt with. They came back to win this game in overtime. As I stated a few weeks back, this team was a lot better than their record had originally anticipated or was showing. And the offense is firing on all cylinders. The defense may not be getting it done to the extent of what they would like, but Kirk is finding ways to carry the team as a whole. And I think that he looks very good right now. I think that this is probably one of the better seasons Kirk has had in some time. And Minnesota looks very good as of the last month or so. So I know that their early on season losses by those single digit points were painful, and they could probably be in a playoff situation, at least competing for a wild card spot if if the ball had gone in their favor in certain games. But definitely got to show them some love, man. Shout out to my boy Jared and my boy Darian and my boy Kevin. They're big Vikings fans, and I know that they were in pain early on in the year, but they're finding a way to make themselves relevant again, and rightfully so. So I think it's a good time to be a Vikings fan right now, man. They look really good.